Yeah. They just had to be on. Hey, this is Andy over today's Seaweed Oil, coming to you live from Brea, California. It is 5:30. For those of you that saw earlier, I had it starting at 6. I realized I have a PTA meeting that I have to be at. I'm the executive vice president of the PTA at my kid's school, and today we have a meeting, and I'm supposed to be there to nominate some people. So I have to be there. So I had to move the time up a half hour. So you're not going crazy. If you saw that it was at 6, I did change it. So I'm going to go through some things right now that first I have to tell you that I have essentially stolen my pastor at my church, his talk for the weekend. So I want to make sure and give Chris Ward credit. I just switched it around for business because the three things that I'm talking about, which is connect, perform, and reflect, have to do with the message from Your Belinda Friends Church over the weekend. But when he talks, and this happens often for whatever reason, I think of it how it applies to business. And so this is not going to be a religious talk, a Christian talk, or anything like that. This is going to be essentially on business, and each one of those words has a special meaning to me in all my businesses when I've had success, and when I don't do these three things, my failure. And so I thought it'd be important for me to bring these up. And so the first one, I should have put my banner up. The power of connecting, performing, and reflecting are essential for your business. And so when I'm talking about Viseo and Overcome Nation, the two of those plus those two things equals time strength. Time strength means that you are making a great income. It means that you have time to spend with your kids. It means that you have time to go on vacation. It means that you have time to relax. And so to get success at Viseo through the business school called Overcome Nation, these three things are essential overall, I think. And again, listening to Pastor Chris talk this weekend, it just really connected with me in what I've been able to do in business, in my prior business. In one business right now, which I have great success, I charge $300 to $400 an hour to do it, which makes it hard to really just kind of dive completely in the network marketing business, right? When you have a business that you've cultivated and created over a 30-year period of time, and now you're at that peak where you're able to charge a fairly good amount of money to do work, which is very simple for me because I've been doing it for so long. I could do it in my sleep. It all comes from these three things. And if we apply those in network marketing, as you join me here at Viseo and Overcome Nation, I think that you will have the same kind of success that I've had in some of my other businesses. And again, I've also had failures. And the reason I've had failures is because I don't do these three things. All right. So I just want to make sure that's perfectly clear. I'm not telling you I'm perfect. I'm not telling you that I do these three things all the time over and over again. I fail to do these things on occasion. And when I don't do these three things, the business fails. All right. So when you're watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, I would really appreciate it if you would comment. Comments are the way I get paid for doing these shows and hopefully give you some good content. And so by commenting and sharing and asking questions or giving me a thumbs up or whatever it is, really is the fuel that allows other people to see these things. And again, it supports me in doing these shows, and it's really important. So if you're watching live or you're watching a replay, I would appreciate just even if you put, hey, where you're watching from, hey, this is such and such. And if you're watching on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or Periscope, which is on Twitter, or Twitch, that would be fantastic. So let me know. Also, the system tells me if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. But I would, it'd be great if you just would engage and type something so that I know that you're watching. All right. So let's go ahead and go with this first one. We're going to talk about connect. Connect is a huge word that I learned as a law enforcement officer, or even before being a law enforcement officer when I was trying to be a cop. And that is this. It is, you want to connect everything you do with your future success in that thing, right? Whatever it would be, becoming a law enforcement officer, if it's becoming a dog trainer, if it's becoming a diamond in Viseo, whatever it is, you want to connect everything you do with that business, with that thing, whatever it is. So just to really quickly, when I decided I wanted to be a police officer, everything I did was law enforcement. Magazines I read was law enforcement. TV shows I watched was law enforcement. When I would go into a restaurant, I'd figure out what happens if a robber comes in. What would I do next? Where would I go? What kind of cover would I get? When I park my car, still to this day, is connected to law enforcement. I park my car according to where I think the best chances for me to get out quickly if I need to get out quickly. Let's say that I get a phone call and one of my children needs my help and they're at home or whatever. I can get to my car and I can get out quickly. So I back into every stall. I try to park in a place where I'm not in the middle of a line. I want to be either on the front or at the end so that I can get out quickly. What's other things is people I hung out with, other cops, right? I hung around people that had success in law enforcement. When I decided I wanted to be a cop, I met people and hung out with people who were either cops or retired cops and asked them questions. So everything you do, you want to connect everything you do to that thing. When I wanted to become a dog trainer, I traveled throughout the world and hung out with the best dog trainers in the world. I watched dog training television. When the internet came around, I of course became a part of every group that had to do with dog training. We called them something else back then. What were they called? Anyway, back in those days when you had dial-up internet, there was a thing that place you'd go to connect with other people. But anyway, everything I did was involved in things. So connected everything I did. I slept, I ate, and I drank dog training all the time. Connected everything in my life that had to do with dog training. My car had dog training stuff on it. All right, let's get to Vaseo really quick. Once you've decided that you're going to be a network marketer, and this is one of the things I do now with network marketing, because with my business and consulting, I no longer do. I've already established myself essentially as one of the leading dog trainers in the world over the years, and especially when it comes to detection dogs and police dogs and search and rescue dogs, that kind of stuff. So along with some other great people that I know. So if they're watching, I'm not saying I'm better than you, but we happen to be in that area where if anybody needs an expert, I'm one of the people that they call. All right. So I get that call, and I get weekly. I get calls because of that status that I was able to build over time. How did I do that? Because everything in my life connected to dog training, right? Everything that I did. So now network marketing. So when I walk around now with network marketing, I have my hat that says today's CBD oil, right? I have t-shirts that I wear anytime I fly or get into an Uber or go to a bar. I'm either wearing a t-shirt, a hat, and then in doing so, I always have my my business cards, right? These are my box of business cards. I have flyers, right? I have all my flyers. I have my dog flyers because I'm, again, influential in the dog flyers. It has to do with CBD oil. I have my sample packs of Vaseo sample packs, right? I carry these around in my truck. They're in my gym bag. They are in my home, obviously. I take them in my luggage when I travel. I have these sample packs everywhere I go. Right, I have magnets that go on cars. Right, these magnets go, and they're magnets that stick to the cars. And I always have product on hand that I give to people. I give boxes away. Right, I give boxes to people and say, hey, I'm gonna give you this box if you are really truly interested and you want to join the business. Just when you order your box, order an extra one and give me the box back. That's all I ask, because I want to be able to give it to the next person. I want to be able to pass it down, and I would suggest you do the same thing. The other thing is I take the products. I take Renew. I'm detoxing with Detox right now. It's I don't know if you can see it on there. I take CBD oil. I have a story of CBD oil, which I'm going to share with that a little bit more. I take V3, right? So essentially, I become a product of the product. Everything I do right now, I've connected to Vaseo, CBD, wellness, Overcome Nation. Everything I do, right? I wear an Overcome Nation hat, which I should have. I don't have one handy here, right? Everything I do. When I do a Facebook Live, I have Vaseo, Overcome Nation behind me. I've connected everything I do with CBD, wellness, Vaseo, Overcome Nation, right? Everything. My kids will tell you that I've connected everything, right? How this message relates to the message that Chris gave is that you connect everything to God, right? If you're a Christian, you connect everything, the way you think, the way you talk, and how you talk to your children and how you represent yourself out in public. It is the same thing when you've decided that I want to be a success. Now I'm talking, if you want to be mediocre, don't do any of this stuff, right? Just kind of meander along. And, for a moment, I'm going to really push this thing and do a Facebook Live and interview somebody. And then for a week, I'm going to do nothing. Right. And then, you know what? I really should do something with that network business. What should I do? You know what? I'm going to do a Facebook Live. You know what? I'm going to go to a chamber meeting, Chamber of Commerce meeting. I'm going to go to a BNI meeting. And then you don't go for a couple of months, right? That is, you want mediocrity, right? You go every so often, just when you think about it. That is not connecting everything you do with a business, right? There's a huge difference of connecting everything you do. I wear the hat, I wear the t-shirt, I have the magnets, I have the brochures, I have the business cards. When I'm on a plane getting on, I literally, every time I get on a plane, one person, at least one person, including the flight attendants and the pilots, have asked me and say, wait a minute, do you know anything about that? Yeah, I know. I don't have one of my books with me. And I say, yeah, I'm actually a #1 bestseller on CBD. And I happen to have a book here. Would you want one? And then here's a business card, and here's a sample of our other Visayo products. Bam, 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 right? They're in my backpack, right? So everything I do is connected to the business. So super important. Connect is huge. Connect everything you do to your future success in your business. Very, very important. All right. The next thing, perform. Now, you may think that I'm talking about performing a Facebook Live or performing whatever, and not that kind of performing. What I'm talking about is perform with excellence, right? And you want to do your best. Now, in the beginning, you're not going to be excellent. Honestly, you're not going to be excellent. You're not going to know anything hardly about the endocannabinoid system, right? I'll do a whiteboard thing on the endocannabinoid system. I've done it in the past, and I show you how it all works. The cascade effect that the endocannabinoid system has on the other systems when you start adding CBD to your diet. Visayo happens to have the best CBD because they have liposome technology, which allows it to be absorbed into your body. That effect alone is the thing that makes the difference between Visayo CBD and other CBD, because most CBD is pure CBD or less than pure CBD, and pure CBD is not bioavailable. Our body does not absorb it very well, and it simply is not as effective as Visayo's. And so you see how those things just come off of my tongue and out of my mouth, and that is because I have performed with excellence. That doesn't mean I'm great. I'm just telling you that it's because I want to make sure that when I do it well. I've studied, I've researched, I know the words. Overcome Nation is the thing that allows you to be the best in the business, to perform with excellence, because they have so much training. That is why our team is the most successful team in Visayo. That's why it's the most successful team in network marketing, period. I can't tell you that it's the most wealthy or that we've made the most money, because Visayo's only been around for 3 years now. I've been saying 2 years for a very long time. So I think it's 3 years now. So it's only been around for 3 years. They're debt-free. They're one of the top 50 healthcare companies in the world. They're performing with excellence. Right? They're being debt-free and being one of the top 50 healthcare companies in the world is performing with excellence. Everything they do, their videos are fantastic. Their products are fantastic. They're announcing skincare and associating themselves with one of the best skincare companies in the world. They're performing with excellence. You can perform with excellence. Maybe you don't know it all. Maybe you're not an expert, but you want to continue to perform with excellence. That's super important. I see some comments coming up, and so let me get a hold of a couple of these comments and just see what's happening. Hey, April, nice to see you. I have a fist bump. Nice. And I do that with parking in a car, and I'm not in law enforcement. Just a warrior. Your shirt doesn't say Visayo or Overcome Nation. You're slipping, Eddie. So I have a brand, right? I have a brand. My brand is Today's CBD Oil. My show's called Today's CBD Oil. My my book is called Today's CBD Oil and Wellness. Everything has to do with Today's CBD. That comes from my marketing background. When I was with another CBD company, I was able to take that Today's CBD Oil, and I didn't have to change and suddenly say, now I do say it, but I don't have to. It's not as confusing when I switch from HempWorks to Visayo, but I'm still Today's CBD Oil, right? I'm still hoping that my brand as an expert in CBD is the thing that carries on. All right. So, but I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you brought that up. All right. So back to my banners here. Thank you, April, for joining. I really appreciate it. So performing with excellence, and I have something that's really funny. Not every company performs in excellence, right? I have a couple internet services that I've used over the past. One of them, I actually won't say the name. I used to say the name all the time, but it's a company that I use to allow me to be able to broadcast in several different places at the same time. The thing about that company is that they never perform with excellence. Now the app worked. The application worked on more often than not, right? Which is all you can say about any application on the internet, right? Because they all have to fail at some point because of the way the internet changes constantly. And the API, especially if it works with Facebook, Facebook constantly changes their API, and when they do that, it causes a glitch, it causes a problem, and so that it's literally an issue that you cannot be perfect. But in performing with excellence means this in an internet application. That means that their support must be fantastic. If the support is not fantastic, they are not performing with excellence. And so you need companies to perform with excellence so that you can continue to use them. And then it makes you want to promote them. And so this company that I will rename nameless from now on, because I used to bash it all the time. I told it I love it because it works. The problem is their support sucks and they're horrible people and you can't get a hold of them. And when you can, they act like you're putting them out when you try to get a hold of them and ask a question. Companies like Designer, StreamYard, which I'm using, which is the best live streaming platform on the planet right now. StreamYard is the best. It is less expensive than the other one, and it is better, which is crazy. At least the basic plan is less than the other one. But they perform it. Their support is excellent, right? Because something will go wrong. There's no doubt in my mind that at some point something will go wrong with StreamYard. At some point, the API will not be connected properly. There's be some change that Facebook has made, or YouTube has made, or Twitch has made, or something like that, and it won't connect. It won't work. And that is just something that. And when you call support, you want them to say, you know what? Yes, we realize that that's an issue. We're working on it. It should be up and running very shortly. We really appreciate you. Is there anything else that we can help you with and that kind of stuff? That's support, right? And they get back to you right away to let you know that, you're right. It's failing, but we're getting it fixed as quickly as possible. That is great support. Personable people that get back to you right away and make stuff happen. In-N-Out Burger, one of the greatest things. I even stole this from Pastor Chris. I'm going to show you here 1 second where to go. And In-N-Out Burger is a more West Coast burger chain, which people love, and they all they do is make burgers. They don't do anything else. They make burgers, shakes, drinks, and fries. That's it. They make nothing else. They don't make chicken sandwiches. They don't make all these other things. Nothing. They make hamburgers, French fries, and shakes, and they serve drinks. That's it. Nothing else. The most successful. They've been around since the 60s. They're family owned. There's no franchise. They pay their managers $160,000 a year and pay them well. It's something like that, $175,000 or something like that. They pay them really very well. It's the business to go into. If you're like me in high school, everybody wanted to work in In-N-Out Burger because it was one of the best places you can work. Everything they do is excellence. They perform with excellence. And I'm going to steal this quote here. Let me go ahead and take down this banner. Oh no, I can keep it up there. And this is a quote from a customer. The customer says, "I trust In-N-Out Burger so much that I don't even check my bag. And if they got it wrong, I just assume they know what is best for me." That is how great In-N-Out Burger, and it is how they perform. They perform with excellence, that when they get something wrong, they go, maybe that's what I was supposed to have. Where when I go to El Pollo Loco, that fails to perform with excellence every time I go. Yet I still go, but they fail to perform with excellence constantly. I don't know if they've ever got an order right. I think that they've failed every time. They've not put something in the bag that I requested as an additional, like a salsa or something like that. Always fail. It is crazy how much they fail. They do not perform with excellence. So you want to connect everything you do with your success, whatever that is. Connect everything you do. Everything, sleep, eat, drink that thing, and connect everything with what it will walk the walk with that company or with that Visayo, with your branding, whatever it is that you're going to do. Perform with excellence. Do your best to perform with excellence. Be there for people. Share good content when you go on live. Give them good information. Write a book. Become a best-selling author. Make sure that you are choosing a company that also performs with excellence. That makes it a lot easier to perform with excellence. If your company like Visayo performs with excellence, right? I may not be the best, but I know Visayo is the best. Right. I know that Overcome Nation is the best. I know that Rick Gutman is the best when he teaches. I know the team that he's put together to be the mentors that also teach within Overcome Nation are the best and are doing well. And he's taken his time to vet those people to make sure that they're putting out good content. The websites are great. The apps are great that are on our phones for Visayo. And so everybody is performing with excellence, and they will wait for you to catch up and get there because everything is going well. All right. So that's that. Reflect. Oops. There we go. Reflect. So reflect is this. All right. This is like the last key thing, that if you connect, if you perform with excellence, that if you reflect the greatness of whom you are representing to be the best of your ability, you want to reflect the greatness of whom you are representing to be the best of your ability. So you want to reflect. You want to be the person that Visayo is proud of, to call that, this Andy guy, and I'm trying. I'm not saying that I'm achieving it, but I'm hoping to. That I want to reflect the greatness of Visayo, right? I want to be a mirror image. If they are that great, I want people to look at me, and I want both the person to see Visayo and their greatness, and I want Visayo to see and feel comfortable that I'm representing them well. Today, I got an email that there's something in the way that I typed the title in YouTube, caught the eye of the, oh my gosh, the name's on the tip of my tongue. Compliance. So compliance over Visayo. You got to be very careful with wellness products, with CBD, that you don't say something that sounds like you're saying that it cures stuff or something like that. So there's some type of title that I have on a Facebook Live, a live broadcast that is not only going live on Facebook, it was going live on YouTube, that the title says something that they didn't feel comfortable with. Now, the truth is they're misreading what I wrote. It doesn't, I'm not making any claims about the products. I was saying the great products, allow me to do something else. And now I can't even remember the title. But my point is, when I got that email, the first thing I thought is, oh my gosh, have I upset somebody? Have I not been a good reflection of Visayo? Did I say something? Did I do something? Did I misrepresent something so that I'm not reflecting well on Visayo? That was the first thought, right? That was even, it just dawned on me that that's it, right? That it worried me so much when I got that email that I wasn't reflecting the company well, that I wanted to call and apologize and say what I did. But then when I read what it was, I go, oh, they misunderstand. Now, could other people misunderstand? Is it important that in your messaging that you make sure that there isn't people that get confused, that they may think that you're representing something that you shouldn't be representing? In other words, that cures something. And so I probably do need to change that. They are probably right, because they thought it, right? They thought it enough that they wrote the email. They cited the rule, whatever the rule is, that they, make sure that you sign or you initial, that you read it, those things that you never read, the 40 pages of legal stuff that, before you can be accepted into this group, you need to make sure and check that box that says that you've read all the 40 or 50 pages of something, which of course I didn't read. And so they cited the section and said, you want to make sure to be careful that you don't violate this section. and I obviously that I there's something that I did that, that they didn't like, but my concern was what I wasn't reflecting well on the company, right? It goes both ways. The reflection goes both ways. I want to make sure that Visayo looks at me and it doesn't have a problem saying, hey, we have this guy named Andy. You may want to follow what he does because he's doing it well. He's a good reflection of our company. And I also want to be able to say that, Visayo Overcome Nation is a good reflection of the company that I want to represent. They are good people. They are honest people. They have great support, all that kind of stuff. So I want to be a good reflection of Visayo and Overcome Nation. And I hope that's happening. So bringing this all together, when I run my companies, my employees, sometimes they would go and they'd be disheveled. They would be late. They would maybe not speak well during class, maybe say something that's controversial. And we would have to have these meetings and talk about the reflection of our company. You are Falco Canine Academy. When you are out there by yourself, when you're on the road driving around, you are a reflection of Falco Canine Academy. If you have a magnet on the side of your car that says Falco Canine Academy, you're a reflection of me, you're a reflection of the company. And when you're on the road driving, you want to make sure and represent us well and reflect well on Falco Canine Academy. When you're talking to your customer, when you're talking to your class and you're saying things, you want to be careful and not say something that is not a good reflection of Andy Falco and Falco Canine Academy. And so we have these meetings and talks that you want to be a good reflection of the company. It's super important. And so whether you are the leader of your company, whether you're the leader of your team in Overcome Nation, maybe you have a team of people under you, the reflection of the company, the reflection of Overcome Nation, the reflection of somebody who is representing well and performing well and connecting everything that you do with that company is the thing that people are going to look at, right? So not being a good reflection of that is going to cause you to fail. Your followers are not going to want to follow if you're not being a good reflection. And this is one of the reasons why I left HempWorks, right? I did not feel that some of the people were a good reflection of what I was hoping to get out of HempWorks. They weren't representing. They were had attitude. They shunned me. They ghosted me when they were supposed to do an interview and they said they wouldn't show up. That is not a great reflection that I was looking for. I have not been disappointed with anybody in Overcome Nation yet who has not been a great reflection of Overcome Nation, a great reflection of Visayo, a great reflection of themselves and the products that we have. And so I really do think that it's really truly huge thing to make sure that when you're walking around and you're talking and you're greeting people and you're doing networking and you're speaking on a Facebook Live, you're doing your best. Are you going to fail? Absolutely. Are you going to make mistakes? Absolutely. But if you're constantly trying to achieve that reflection of kindness, of support, of giving good information, of not representing something falsely, then you are going to be much better off. But always striving to reflecting well. What happened? I'm late. Oh, I'm sorry. I said at the beginning, it was scheduled for 6. I had to change it because I have a PTA meeting that I have to go to. I'm the vice president and I'm supposed to be there to nominate some people. And so I had to change the time. So I apologize. I had to change it from 6 to 5:30. So we have Julian, a great reflection of Overcome Nation and Visayo. Steve Hunt, same thing. I love seeing him at events. He's kind. He's talking to people, shaking hands. A great reflection of who he is and who he's trying to represent at Visayo and Overcome Nation. April, of course, as always, is always the great reflection of who she's representing on her show and the thing that she's striving to be as she moves forward. All right, so let me go back to the banners here really quick, and I'm just going to lay out that last one and or the first one that I had, and that is there is power in connecting everything you do with your success. Connect everything you do in order to be success. Sleep, eat, drink, what it is you're doing all the time. Talk the talk, walk the walk, right? Then performing, right? And you want to make sure and perform with excellence, and wear and carry yourself with excellence, and make sure that you're striving to make sure and give good information. Make sure your packaging isn't all dented. Don't carry it around. Now, I don't carry stuff in my trunk so it tumbles around and gets all dented and try to hand that off to it. I want it to look good, right? I want to make sure it's clean. I want to make sure that my car is clean. I want to make sure that if I'm going to have a meeting somewhere, that the outside of the car is clean, the inside of the car is clean. Whenever I go and meet a client, I go to the car wash and make sure everything's clean, right? Why? Because I want to have a good representation of the company and of myself as I'm going forward. There's nothing worse than if you what they call it? Financial advisor. One time I had a financial advisor come into my office. He had pitched me at a Chamber of Commerce meeting that he was the best and just had all this history and doing all this stuff, right? And when he pulls up to my office, one of the things I love to do is look at their car when they pull up, and I see this beater, and I think maybe in my mind I remember there being one of the 4 tires was the spare, right? That little tiny tire. And the windows were so dirty. Like, I would have cited him as a cop. I would have cited him because there's a violation for dirty windows. If your windows are so dirty that it impairs your vision as you're driving, I've cited people for that before. Dirty windows, and he had dirty windows, right? And then I walk out to greet him because now I got to see what the inside of the car. The inside of the car is a mess. All right, there's papers everywhere. There's fast food bags and boxes, piled in the floorboards. It is a mess. And this guy wants to come to me and be a financial advisor, right? And he's touted himself as being one of the best financial advisors in Orange County at the time. And he wasn't a good reflection. There wasn't a good reflection on that first contact, right? Driving around a beater car, right? You can have an old car. It's not a big deal. But if it's dirty on the outside, dirty on the inside with stuff, rolling around, and stuff on the dashboard, right? You got like your, McDonald's wrappers on the dashboard. You got, a Thomas guide from the 1980s still on the dashboard. You got parking tickets, on the dashboard. Not a good look, not a good reflection of a successful person in the financial business. Really not a good reflection. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. And you're welcome, by the way. And so there you go. So those are the things I wanted to talk about. I thought it was a great message at church. And you can imagine how connecting everything you do with God, right? If you're going to be a good Christian, performing with excellence as a Christian, so people see a good representation of what a Christian is, and then the reflecting, being a good reflection of the church that we belong to, and everything that basically the message that was given. I've transferred that to business, which is the same thing, right? Connecting everything you do with your business so that you're just immersed. That was the word I was looking for earlier. You're immersed in everything you do so that when somebody asks you a question, bam, you got it, because you've immersed yourself in everything you do, right? You read, you watch, you take, right? And you know what it tastes like, you know what it feels like, you know what it's fixed with you or it's helped you with. Not that this anything cures, I don't want to get in trouble again. It doesn't cure anything. I can't tell you it does, although I have my opinion. And then you perform with excellence, and you're a great reflection of the company that you're representing. And that is going to be huge and take you a long way. All right. So again, the end point of this is that when I've done these things, I've had great success. When I fail to do one or more of these things, then things begin to fail and fall apart. And so I wanted to bring that to you. I want to thank Chris Ward for having that message at Your Blend of Friends Church that I was able to kind of transfer into my message tonight. Chris always gives a great message. If you want to hear some of Chris's messages, just go to Your Blend of Friends Church, Your Blend of Friends Church, and then go to watch online, and then pick out a few of his. And everyone, I wouldn't even, there's not even one I can recommend because they're all fantastic. Every one of his messages, he puts a lot of thought in. They're great teaching messages, and he's just a fantastic. It's not to say Matt Cork, who is our church leader and who also gives great messages. As a matter of fact, he's improved since Chris has gotten there. There may be a little bit of a competition or something like that on who gives the better messages, but even Matt's messages have gotten even better. Not that they were bad before. Again, I want to be careful not to upset somebody, but they are great. So go to Your Blend of Friends Church if you want to hear messages. The one that I'm talking about is up right now, so you can go and see that one and see how his message is probably a bit different than mine. All right. So I hope you all had a good evening. Sorry for the time change. I had to change it because, again, I have the PTA meeting over at my kid's school. And so I apologize that had to change. All right. So you all have a good night. If you're watching the replay, make sure and type in the comments again. I know I said at the beginning, but it would be great if you could type in there. Just let me know that you've watched the replay, where you're watching from. If any of this resonated with you, make sure and let me know. Give me a little note if there's something that you thought I could have added or done differently. I'd love to hear that too. Not a big deal. All right. I can take anything that anybody has to say. I have a lot of experience with being called a lot of names. All right. All right. That's it. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.